Hey everyone, Pastor Wes here with you on Wednesday evening. Hope you're having a good week. It's good to see you again. I've been out battling COVID for the last couple of weeks and finally feeling good, getting my strength back a little more each day, and just glad to be here with you tonight. We're going to pick back up on our study of growing in God and talking about holding on to the unchanging hand of God. We had looked at Luke chapter 8. I will go back through these verses tonight. Beginning in verse 22, Luke chapter 8 says, Now it came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples, and he said unto them, Let us go unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth, but as they sailed, he fell asleep. And there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water, and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased. And there was a calm, and he said to them, Where is your faith? They being afraid wondered, saying one to another, What manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and the water, and they obey him. We're coming back to the verse where it says that Jesus fell asleep in the back of the boat. And we had ended a few weeks ago talking about how, have you ever felt like you were in the storm of your life and Jesus was asleep? Like he was just like with these disciples, asleep in the back of the boat. He just laid there, let the devil beat up on you, let people lie on you, let people cheat on you, let people persecute you, criticize you, steal from you, ignore you, overlook you, and underestimate you. Let me let you in on a little secret. Just because you're called by God to do his work does not mean that you will never have trouble, you'll never go through trials, and you'll never face hard times. Just because you're anointed does not mean that you will ever be lied on by people. It doesn't mean that God is going to wrap you in cotton also so that your feelings never get hurt. In fact, the more anointed that you are, the more destiny that you embrace, the more focused you are on becoming the person that God has ordained you to be. The more that you fulfill your purpose, the greater the threat to hell that you are, and the greater the attacks are going to be against you. The other day, I was reading about the life of Joseph, and for years, I always understood Joseph was anointed. Joseph was appointed by God. He was favored by God repeatedly. The Bible says that the Lord was with Joseph. And I read those words so many times. The Lord was with Joseph. The Lord was with Joseph. And then I read the story, and I'm trying to put together why, if the Lord was with Joseph, then why didn't God stop his brothers from stripping him out of his coat and throwing him in a pit and leaving him there to die? If God was with Joseph, why didn't God stop Potiphar's lust-filled wife from lying on him and destroying his character and destroying his integrity in the eyes of Potiphar and the whole house? If the Lord was with God, why did God let the butler forget Joseph for 2 years after he interpreted his dream and it came to pass? Was he asleep? No. I came to realize that it was all part of God making Joseph the kind of man that he could trust with the dream that he gave him. From the day that God gave Joseph the dream never changed, but the dreamer went through a process of stripping and refining in order to bring him to a place that he was qualified to live the dream out that God had given him. I know that God never sleeps because Psalm 121:4 tells us, Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. He that keepeth Israel shall never slumber nor sleep. I know that God never sleeps, but I promise you that the longer you serve the Lord, there will be times in your life where it does feel like God is sleeping, that God is in such a deep slumber that nothing can wake him. But don't be deterred. It's just part of the process. Some of you that are listening to this right now probably have felt like or feel like maybe right now that God has gone to sleep and just let the devil have his way with you. And to tell you the truth, to a lot of people, it looks and it feels like you're further away from your word, or you're further away from your destiny, your dream than you ever have been before. But what I want you to know is that God is not asleep. God has not forgotten you. His eyes are on the sparrow. His eyes are on every minute of the day, and he has been watching you through every single step of your process, and He's in charge of all things. He's in charge of the trial that you're in. He's in charge of the temperature. He's been controlling the speed of the wheel. He saw the storm coming before it ever even began to build and before it ever got to you. He filtered it through His hands of love, and He predetermined that the storm was not going to kill you. He predetermined that the storm was not going to sink you. He predetermined that the storm was not going to destroy your life or your ministry before you ever even entered into the battle. God had already predetermined everything that you need to conquer so that you had everything to come out on top. Everything that you have, God has given you. He is preparing you. But just understand that the trials, all the things that you're facing, all the things that you're going through, even though you may feel like God is asleep, just trust that it's part of the process. God is refining you and molding you and shaping you to be able to walk out the destiny and the purpose that He has for your life and the dream that He has given you. So trust the Lord and trust the process. He's not asleep and He's not in a slumber. Just trust. I love you. We'll see you next week. God bless you.